Hello, everyone. And today we wanted to talk to you about the next stage. Last time we spoke about the promotion you wanted and how far you want to go in getting that promotion. And today we're going to talk to you about what happened if you actually did get that promotion. Meaning, when we start our career, there is a North Star that we all are aiming to get there. And let's picture this for a second. You have a list. You've got all your requests, what kind of money you're going to get, what is the title, which company you're going to work with, how your colleagues, who do you want to work with, what is the DNA, what is the atmosphere, how far it's going to be from home. There is a lot of aspects that will contain what you call your dream job. And guess what? Today we're telling you, you're taking out the list and you nailed it. You got it. This is you. You worked so hard, you got what you wanted, the corner office, the coffee, the people, whatever, you got them all. But, yes, there is a but. Always with our conversation, there is going to be a but. The but is, let's say 3 months has gone since you got your dream job, and you wake up in the morning, you open your eyes, and you're saying, wait a second, it doesn't feel right to me. I worked so hard. I had a dream. I'm supposed to wake up in the morning and I need to feel something else. I need to feel excitement. I need to actually feel fulfilled. What happened? Where is that emotion went off? Why do I still, in the reality, I got everything I wanted, but from the inside, it doesn't feel how it was supposed to feel, like what I expected? Lena, has that ever happened to you? Do you have any kind of enlightenment for us? Why that?
Like all the time, like seriously all the time. And that's actually why I left my full-time job, because I just, after about a couple of months, I just found this disconnect. Something was always not adding up. Either the people I was working with, at least some of them, or the project I was working on, or the distance, or one of the things would start eventually bothering me. Most of the time, actually, I would just get bored. And I knew that moving from one job to another wouldn't particularly look good in my CV. So when I got an opportunity to contract, that's exactly what I started doing, thinking that another contract, that's it. That's when I'm going to be so happy and I'm going to wake up so excited. I mean, I just remember, when I first came to UK, I was working at Microsoft on this project for Ministry of Defense. And I was living in a hotel during the week, and I would sometimes wake up with this excitement thinking, how did I even get there? I was like 25 years old, working with this, like really senior guys. And I literally had to pinch myself. And I was trying to recreate that feeling in all of the jobs that I've had, or, just for something to feel that way. And I might initially, but as the time goes by, that feeling wears off. And then I'm like, okay, what is next? So I was constantly chasing something out there, thinking that when I get to that certain, criteria, then I will nail it. But as we know, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't work this way. No, it doesn't. Do you want to share why? Because I have a few things that I can share about why I think it's happening to us.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like that with anything, right? We think when we go on a holiday, then we're going to get less stress, we will be happier, we can, I don't know, whatever it is that we don't allow ourselves to feel and have and do while we're not on holiday, we think that's going to solve our problems. But we all know that by the time the holidays finish, we come home, we're back in our usual environments, the same thing keeps on reoccurring. We look for that in our friendships and relationship, whatever that fulfillment is. And that is because we think that the form or the object, the circumstances, that's what fulfills us, that's what makes us happy. But at the end of the day, it's not the job, it's not the holiday, it's not the car, it's not the house we want, but rather the feeling that it gives us. So when you think about your 6-figure career or this big promotion you want, maybe the feeling you're associating with it is a safety, security, recognition, admiration, whatever that is. So it's actually the feeling you are looking for rather than a thing. And that's why mistakenly a lot of us trying to chase that object, thinking that it's going to bring us all of those feelings that we crave for, not realizing that everything we're looking for is actually, we need to find it in ourselves?
So there is actually a title for it. It's a term, you can look it out. It's called outcome. We are actually trying to create an outcome, and we are deciding, or this is very natural, this is very human, that we think that if we are going to have a list and we are looking for something that is an outcome to change in our reality, that will get us to a point where we will be happy, fulfilled, secured, whatever. But in my opinion, Lena, I don't think that if we are not going to define for ourselves what exactly is this feeling, we're going to get all the time somewhere. And if we don't know what it means for us to be happy, and I would try to explain what does it mean to be happy. In the first ever spirituality course that I took, they told us what do we want in life. And I said, to be healthy, to be happy, and so on. And then they took the first one that I wrote, which was happy. And they told me, okay, how does a happy person looks like? What does he do in his day to day? What does he eat? How does he dress? How does he speak? And you know, you're probably thinking I'm asking stupid question, but if you think about it for a second, happiness is something that need to be defined. Like you're gonna get the job and you're gonna be a happy person. If you haven't been a happy person before that, I've got news for you. The fact you got the job is not gonna make you a happy person. If, as Lena said, you're looking for the money for security, so you need to define what security is for you, because it doesn't really matter how much money is going to land in your lap if you don't know what security is. So you just would want more money and more money and more money. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. The more money you have, the more you want it. The more you actually want to grab to it and scared that something that will happen to it. So define what security means to you. If you're not going to be somebody stable, happy, knows what security is, the fact you're going to go get the job, it's not gonna happen, because you don't know how to be that person. So the first thing is to define yourself, what happiness is. Yes, I got to a pretty, let's say, elderly age without defining to myself what happiness is. Like, how is me, Sarit, happy? How is that person actually looks like? How does he walk around the world? How? And I thought I was very optimistic, by the way. But
Yeah.
kind of not.
We often define that happiness by the things that we experience in our external circumstances, right? But doing that, we place our attention on something that is very impermanent, but something that's constantly changing. So if we associate our happiness with a job, when something happens in the job, for example, you have a new boss or you've got a colleague that you don't get along with, all of a sudden you say, I'm not happy. But hang on a second, but 2 weeks ago you were happy. So are you happy or are you unhappy? Right? And then maybe, I don't know, let's say you've invested amounts of money into some stocks or shares, and like you were just so happy and you were so excited, and the stock's gone down, you lost your money, and you say, I'm unhappy. So none of those things outside of us are permanent. None of them. Not even like the happiness, you know, we get from our children, from our partners, from our friends, because everything is always changes. Who was it that said that the only permanent thing is that there's nothing is permanent? But somebody say that there's nothing really permanent apart from one thing: ourselves, connection with ourselves. Do you know that soul, that something within you, that awareness, that is the only permanent thing. That's the never changing. But yet most of us, myself included, we run around and we try to get that fulfillment and happiness from something or someone outside of us. And I think until we get to the stage where we realize we can't get that safety, security, love, approval, appreciation from people, from objects, from places around us, we can only get it from ourselves. We will always be looking for lack, for something that's missing in opportunities, instead of really finding opportunities in lack, because this is how we are conditioned.
Yeah, but it's called, now I remember the term, it's outcome happiness, but you also need to define it for yourself. In order to find it for yourself, yes, you have to define what it looks like. It has to define what it really means to you. I'm going to say the word happy. Lena is going to say the word happy. everybody that is watching the video going to say happy. I'm telling you, when we are thinking about happy, it's mean different things to different people. And even though we're going to use the same term, it's actually something else. So dedicate the time to understand what is happiness for you. And I don't mean happiness like everybody's saying, because I usually, I can tell you, it's freaking me out from the inside when I'm, going to call up people and I say, how are you? And they say, oh, everything is fine. I'm happy. And I was like, I don't think about the checklist happy. Like everybody's well and I got the job and I don't worry about money. I'm talking about happiness, like the emotion, the security should come from that place Lena is talking about, from the inside. That comes natural to you. And with happiness, it's really easy for me to demonstrate what I mean, because we used to have it and we lost it. Remember when you were a kid, you didn't need a fancy anything. You just were happy at that moment, at that specific moment, and that warm emotion that came from your inside. This is usually the natural place we're talking about, and this is what we forgot because we grow up, and that's what growing up apparently do. We lose what we used to have, and now we need to find it back. So when I'm saying happy, I'm talking about that warm, burning place from the inside, and asking somebody if he's happy and his face lights up and his smile is radiating and shining. This is the kind of happiness. Security comes with a peace inside. You don't see the mental brain working like, what is security? We're talking about that natural state that we used to have. Those are the emotions that and when you find it, any job that you're going to be with, going to have, it's probably going to be you've been able to sustain it, because nothing in the outside world will be able to affect that. Right, Lena?
You're going to be asking a different question rather than, am I happy? It's more like, is this in alignment with my values? Does this really represent who I am? Does it
who I want to be?
Who I want to be, who I am? Does it fulfill me? So, it's going to be a very different question. And actually, when I think of happiness, I sometimes think of this African villages, because I grew up in South Africa. And I remember like driving through the villages where they lived like in shacks that like half falling apart with this like massive satellite dishes. And the kids, they like barely had any shoes. And yet they were all running around just chasing this ball that is like half deflated with so much excitement and enthusiasm. And that's the genuine happiness. And I believe that all of us have it to some extent within ourselves without the external circumstances. And I just quickly want to actually say what true happiness means to me is actually in a times of chaos where things seemingly falling apart. And I've been in those situations a few times, but you still have that stillness within you, that freedom, that peace, where you just feel so peaceful, so content. And actually you even wonder, how can I feel so content and peaceful where, like, if I look externally, like, it's just things are not working to the way I want them to work, but yet I feel that peace. And that's, for me, is the true happiness. And, I think the longer I can sustain that, regardless of what's going around me, I truly believe that the more magnificent, magical, and happier my life will become.
So you see, for me, it's different. When I'm saying happy, it's for me, it's been light and funny and dancing and singing and telling jokes and seeing a lot of laughs around me, and that the atmosphere is light, and I don't know, I'm for human connection, so I usually get most of my happiness from the people that surrounds me. And if we're light and we're funny and we're making jokes and we are dancing in the kitchen and just being ourselves, that truly makes me happy. So for me, going to work, seeing people that are actually get to express themselves the way they want, to be able to be who they want, and to see people grow and stuff like that, probably that in a job will make me happy. It's all about human connections. So you see two different people expressing what happiness differently. So
but if you were, sorry, carry on. I thought you were finished. Carry on.
Just wanted to say, define it for yourself. You have to do the legwork.
Yeah, totally. Because I think if we were having this conversation even a year ago, you know, I've got on my rights, just on the wall there, a board that, what do you call it? The wishing board, the
Vision board.
vision board, not the, yes, vision board. And about 2 years ago, I literally, like, it was filled with all of the images, the places I wanted to go. Now I just have like one phrase from this ancient Buddhist text in it. That's it. Because I've realized none of these places, none of what I stuck in there mean anything if I don't have that peace and like happiness and stillness within myself. For
Do you
me,
know this? Do you know the song, "You always take the weather with you everywhere you go"? So I use it a lot. Doesn't really matter where you go, you always take the weather with you, and the weather with you is actually you and you. How are you feeling? How are you thinking? If you're not going to make the effort, wherever you go, wherever you're going to get, whatever you're going to achieve, it's not really going to change.
yeah. So just like maybe to give you guys a practical tip, like I think Sarita already mentioned, sit down and write what are things that make you happy, and then look at all of these things. Where are you holding others accountable for your happiness, right? Maybe your children, your friends, your job. And now maybe look, let's say if they don't fulfill your expectations, can you still be happy? Right? And actually find that's, you know, something within you, something that's you, only you can give yourself without involving any other people, places, situation into your happiness.
And Lena, if you will permit, I want to give a general tip that I wanted to give them from the minute we started the video. I never got a chance, but now it's burning inside of me to say. So when you usually start this journey, and I don't know if you started it with us or you're actually taking it to the next step with us, but we kind of need somebody to talk about it. So find a friend that you can actually verbalize the concept. So even if you're making a list, if it's your significant other or somebody else like that, go over with him, because there is some kind of anchoring happen when we are actually talking about it to other people. So I'm sure you've got somebody that you can talk to. So if you want to find out or you want to do homework, maybe not on the first stage or the second stage, I hope you all have a safe place, but you need to talk to about it with somebody. Because if not, our brain at the beginning has the tendency to vague it out. So you know how Dr. Joe is saying, get to the next person and, you know, and
yeah, it's very good to verbalize it, because then you really like embody that.
so find your partner on the journey. That's a general statement for all our video. Find your partner. Find somebody that can do this with you. So it's very important. Wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, you make a good point. Like Dr. Joe Dispenza, I mean, I talk a lot about him. He was like a, you know, catalyst, I guess, for my spiritual journey. And he always says, turn to the person next to you and explain. And initially I was like, what's the point? But when I started going to his workshops, I realized, because it's one thing listening to it, but actually when you verbalize it, you explain to someone, this is how you turn that understanding into knowledge, right? And we know that it's only through true knowledge we can actually start then making changes to our lives, not just by listening it, but actually embodying it and really sitting with it and sharing it with it. When you verbalize it, it's like the best way to really get something.
And it also anchors in your brain. So we talked about journaling, we talked about other techniques. It's usually because we want the brain to understand we're serious and to make sure we are seeing it from all angles. And God gave us senses. We've got the vision, we've got the sound, we've got to verbalize it, and all of them are going to anchor what you're looking for. So having somebody to echo it and partner with, it's essential on this journey. I'm grateful I have Lena.
Great.
I have other people too, but
yeah, for sure.
I'm happy we get to do this together, Lena, honestly.
Absolutely. It's a lot more fun also. Cool,
Yes.
guys. Well, let us know what happiness is to you if you want to share that with us. You know, if you got anything out of this video, and if you do exercise and you want to share feedback, we always love to hear from you. Bye for now.
Bye.